I am Lucy Goyette's avatar. I am using this technology to translate my thoughts and communicate with you effectively in English. This tool allows me to bridge the language barrier and convey my expertise to an English-speaking audience. Today, I'd like to discuss parts negotiation and ideomotor signals. Have you ever felt that inner conflict? One part of you wants to succeed, but another procrastinates. Or perhaps a part of you feels anxious, while the other wants to be done with this behavior once and for all. You may have tried everything, but you just can't seem to achieve it consciously. It is not a lack of willpower, it is a programming conflict. What makes hypnosis so interesting is that we have fascinating tools at our disposal to dialogue directly with these unconscious mechanisms. Ideomotor signals and parts negotiation. The term ideomotor comes from the Greek idea, thought, and the Latin motor, movement. It refers to an involuntary and unconscious muscular movement triggered by a thought or mental impulse, without the client's conscious will intervening. Ideomotor signals are reflex movements, often subtle, resulting from an unconscious response to a thought or mental image. These movements can be as simple as a slight finger lift, a muscle twitch, or a shift in posture. They originate in the brain. When the mind evokes concepts, it leads to muscle activation without the individual being fully aware of it. During a session, the practitioner establishes a line of communication with the unconscious. For example, they might ask for the right index finger to lift to say yes, and the left index finger for a no. Once this channel is established, the practitioner can ask binary questions to locate a blockage, verify the ecology, safety of a change, or validate that a transformation has indeed taken place. It is a powerful way to bypass the analytical mind, which has a tendency to rationalize, doubt, or even lie to itself. Parts negotiation, on the other hand, is based on the premise that our psyche is not a monolithic block, but a sum composed of multiple parts or subpersonalities. Each part was created at some point in our lives with a positive intention, often for protection. For example, a critical part might put you down to prevent you from taking risks and failing. The problem arises when two parts are in disagreement. A classic example, the part that wants to eat healthy versus the part that succumbs to sweets for comfort. The practitioner then becomes the mediator between these parts to reach an agreement. The goal is to acknowledge their positive intention and negotiate a new behavior that satisfies everyone. The strangest thing is that some of these parts do not necessarily know each other because communication has been, in a way, short-circuited. They do not always realize that their actions are causing discomfort to the person during the session. Contrary to what one might believe, this approach is not a recent New Age invention. It has deep roots in 20th century psychology. Although there are few clinical studies focusing solely on parts therapy as an isolated technique, solid data on clinical hypnosis exists. A famous meta-analysis conducted by Dr. Alfred A. Berrios, published in Psychotherapy, Theory, Research and Practice, 1970, compared recovery rates across hundreds of cases. The figures are striking. Psychoanalysis, 38% recovery after 600 sessions. Behavior therapy, 72% recovery after 22 sessions. Hypnotherapy, 93% recovery after 6 sessions. I will let you draw your own conclusions. Furthermore, the validation of the parts model, known as IFS, internal family systems, was listed in 2015 in the NREPP, National Registry of Evidence-Based Programs and Practices in the United States. It has been recognized as effective for improving general physical health, reducing phobias, panic anxiety, and managing stress. Modern neuroscience is beginning to explain these phenomena thanks to medical imaging. To understand hypnosis, imagine the brain as a gearbox. In daily life, we drive in fifth gear. This is the alert state, dominated by beta waves, 13 to 30 Hz. This is where our logic and critical analysis reside. In this state, a guardian is watching, the critical factor. If I tell you you no longer want to smoke, this guardian analyzes the information, compares it to your past, and rejects it. By combining hypnosis with parts negotiation and ideomotor signals, we create a powerful tool to downshift the brain's gears and bypass the guardian. A pivotal study conducted by the Stanford University team in 2017, Zhang et al., used fMRI to film the brain under hypnosis. Similar research has also been conducted at several universities, including the University of Montreal. Their results are fascinating. They observed a disconnection between the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, executive control, and the rest of the brain. Concretely, the brain stops scrupulously checking if the suggested information corresponds to external reality. The filter is lifted. The suggestion goes straight through. During a 24-hour cycle, your brain naturally shifts from one state of consciousness to another by changing frequency. The 13 Hz SMR frequency is the doorway. It is a state of calm concentration. The body is still, the mind is clear. This is light hypnosis. But the work of deep unconscious reprogramming often requires going lower, theta waves, to further bypass the critical mind. Imaging also shows that hypnosis modifies activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, that is, the part that handles conflict management, and reduces activity in the default mode network, the little voice that ruminates. This creates a neurological state conducive to the reassociation of conflicting parts. The hypnosis practitioner does not perform therapy in the medical sense, but rather unconscious reprogramming through suggestion and learning. It is not magic. These are techniques supported by science. Using ideomotor signals and parts negotiation allows us to stop imposing change by force and instead negotiate it with intelligence. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting.